here. Let me see if I can share my screen real quick. Okay. All right, so NOCAP Sports, while this might be a little bit different than some of the other presentations here, I think at the very least, how do I present here? Sorry, one second. There we go, slideshow. Okay. All right. So while we might have a little bit of a different presentation than some of the other participants here, what we have built here at NOCAP Sports, I think will be pretty interesting to a lot of you, and may at the very least get some creative juices flowing. So NOCAP Sports was founded a little bit over 2.5 years ago with the anticipation of college athletes being able to monetize their name, image, and likeness. So for any sports fans out there, college athletes can now get endorsement deals and sponsorship deals in the same way that pros can, which was something they were never able to do in the past. So we created a self-service platform to allow businesses to connect with these athletes and partner with them.
Hey, Matt, just for awareness, I'm not able to see your screen. So I don't know if you want to just back it out of the presenter view, but I'm not able to see it.
Okay.
Yeah, that should be fine.
All right. Yeah, that's fine. So NOCAP Sports was founded to help businesses, partner with athletes. And what we found is a pretty interesting niche with franchise businesses, because something that is obviously pretty prevalent with athletes is that the people in the towns and the areas surrounding where they go to school, obviously love and follow their college sports. So a couple other things to note about NOCAP Sports. We have built this platform that allows for automated compliance with the schools. So obviously there's some paperwork and stuff that goes into working with athletes, and we wanted to manage all of that to kind of make it an easy one-stop shop for that. So we're going on to the next slide here. Just another emphasis on the athletes and their kind of local impact here. Typical influencers, they generate engagement with their audiences around 2 to 5%. We found the college athletes, their audiences on social media specifically, engage with them at around 11 to 15% engagement rate. So a lot higher than your typical influencers. And that's just on the social media front of it. Walking around campus, walking around town, people see these athletes and they say, oh, these are great people. I want to support them. I want to help them out. So where do franchises and franchisors and franchisees fit into this? We want to help you guys connect with your local communities. Now, whether that be, through a social media campaign, an in-person appearance, any sort of way that you want to sponsor an athlete, it's really a great way to engage with that local community and kind of generate some buzz about your business, whether that be, a grand opening, maybe an underperforming franchise location, anything that, can kind of boost and generate some new news and interest in your business. We can kind of help with that. So kind of some things that we can build for you here at NOCAP Sports. We have a network of athletes that gives us access to about 70,000 athletes nationwide. So, at any school pretty much across the country, in any location where you may have a franchise, we can find athletes that are in that area that, can help you engage with your local community. We have a few different tiered package offerings. So if you're looking to sponsor athletes from a franchisee level or a co-marketing investment, with the franchisors as well, we can work around any sort of budget restrictions and all stuff like that. Our platform is inherently self-service. So, if you like what I'm talking about today and you want to just go check it out, you can sign up and, start working with athletes as soon as possible. We also offer some managed service options where, we'll help you brainstorm, creative concepts, what you can do to work with these athletes. And then also, manage the communications and kind of, help with any way that we can along the way. So on this next slide here, again, just wanted a couple things to note here is that, these package offerings for franchises are just estimates. It also honestly depends on, the number of athletes that you're working with, their popularity, stuff like that. But we just wanted to lay out some sample package offerings. So, the test package, the first one there is, you can pretty much work with 1 to 5 athletes. Like this could be, starting quarterback, Stetson Bennett from Georgia, like top 5 5-star prospects at the school for, about $2,500. That includes, getting them on site for a location, on site at your location, shaking hands, kissing babies, do whatever you may want to do with them, as well as, some sort of social media promotion. So if that's, you're looking to promote some sort of discount or some sort of, new grand opening, you can, use their social media to promote that. So as you can see, the kind of packages scale up from there. And we've seen, a lot of great success with franchise locations working with entire teams, because, it's a fairly new industry. And every time you get, a full team, let's say, it's a full football team or a full basketball team, there's always that, first NIL deal with this team that, really hits the headlines really well and generates a lot of buzz from a PR standpoint. So moving along here, just wanted to focus in on one of our case studies here. We actually got introduced to Zach and Ryan at FSN through an investor in our company, an advisor, Omar Solomon, who is the co-founder and CEO of College Hunks Hauling Junk, who some of you may be familiar with. Now, obviously, with college being in their name, there's a pretty easy, connection to be made there. But Omar was actually one of the first, people in the entire NIL industry to sponsor an athlete. And he said, this went really great. July 1 of 2021, he was sponsoring the starting quarterback for the University of Miami, and generated headlines, got on in Forbes, on the front page of ESPN. Lots of impressions from a PR standpoint there. So he wanted to, bring this opportunity to a lot more of his franchisees, and we've now done about 10 to 12 deals with College Hunks Hauling Junk's location all across the country. What we've done with them is sort of a combination, as I mentioned before, of like an in-person appearance where we brought the athletes out to their location, gave them kind of like a tour of the facility and generated some content around it. So there's the appearance as one aspect of it where, we were inviting out local news and local radio stations to cover the event. Then the athletes also promoted the business on their social media afterwards. They also, had a referral program built in there where, every business that the athlete or every customer that, came in and, worked with College Hunks based off of, the athletes sponsoring them, the athletes were receiving commission from that as well. So just some metrics here from the College Hunks campaigns that we've done. Over the about a dozen campaigns we've done, we've seen about 14 million cumulative impressions across social media, all forms, whether that's Instagram for the athletes. We've had a few splash reels generated from, video production teams at these events that have been on YouTube and, been in lots of articles, as I mentioned, Forbes, ESPN, stuff like that. And then also what we've seen is a 28% average increase in inbound leads in, the month following this activation. So not only, is it great optically, good to generate PR and good to get your franchise in the news, in the headlines, but it also actually is positively affecting their business. So that's kind of, the case study that we've done there for College Hunks Hauling Junk. And I just wanted to dive in a little bit into kind of like the community of athletes that we have here. So these are some metrics that I mentioned before, about 75,000 athletes in our network. The average engagement rate is very high on social media. And the audience age is something to note here because that may be something you're worried about, like, oh, these are college kids, they probably only have, audiences in, the college age range, which is true. You can see, that 18 to 24 age range is the biggest one there. But also, as anyone who's attended a major university and followed the sports teams, you keep up with your sports team as an alumni. So, it definitely trickles down as you get up to that 45 to 64 range. But, if your target audience is from, 25 to 44, those are your target consumers, we can definitely reach them with a campaign, working with college athletes like this. So yeah, I want to be mindful of my time here. I probably have, a minute or two left. So I'll skip over just some of the, sample athletes that I could show you here, just, to give you a sense of, the scale of their following. So, anywhere from, local, smaller, 30,000 to, 200,000 followers, really large reach. And we have, reach at athletes in schools all across the country. So yeah, just, final slide here. This presentation will be available to anyone who wants to take a look at it afterwards. But, we really think that franchisees and franchisors, working with college athletes can be really beneficial for marketing purposes to promote your brand. So that's kind of, all the time I have here today. But the one other thing I wanted to note here, back on the sample package offering, is that we are also rolling out a subscription-based model. So, if the budget for, your marketing budget isn't as large as you want it to be, we have a few subscription-based options that we'll be rolling out in February, and I'll be sure to share that with anyone who is interested. If you want to reach me and set up some sort of introductory meeting and find out how NOCAP Sports can help your franchise locations really engage with their local communities, this is my contact information here, but it will also be listed on the FSN site.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Matt. And I think it's a cool opportunity to be able to leverage local influencers and also national ones. So moving right along, we're going to bring Bogdan, Konstantin,